This week, we asked the question, what if God was one of us? What would he look like? Would he do a run-in? Well, Effy can't. Effy had some difficulties with the knee this weekend. We'll get into all of that. We're going to talk about Cannonball Fest. We're going to talk about, Saudi Arabia. And after that, we're going to reflect on how fun it is to be alive, even when the world around you looks a little tough. It's Weekend at Effy's. Follow us at Weekend at Effy's on all the social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Follow us on the podcast platforms, wherever you listen to podcasts, and check out the Patreon. Even if you become a free member, weekendateffys.com. Sign up, show us the support, show us the love, get access to the cool extra stuff. And if you're poor, that's okay. weekendateffys.substack.com. The comings and goings, everything going on, all the places to find Effy, and of course, Petár. Where are you?
I'm here.
Exactly. Welcome to Weekend at Effy's. All around us, there's miracles. Agree, disagree, neutral.
Agree.
All right, good. That's the spirit we're bringing in today, because I'll tell you what, it's hard times, daddy. It's hard times blues, daddy. Over here with my... Can the video see my knee just hanging out of here like a fool?
They can get the suggestion of it.
They get the suggestion of it. That's all that you really need. We are here at a podcast known as Weekend at Effy's. I'm Effy.
I'm Peter.
I still feel weird introducing myself as Effy sometimes, but like that makes no sense. But I do see people really get thrown off when I go up and shake their hand and say Ham Taylor.
Yeah, it would be weird if you said, "Hi, I'm William Gibson."
Hi, my name is Billy. Hi, they call me Billy. That's my dad's name, so that's why I don't go by that. I would make a great Billy. I gotta say it, like just it would fit. But I've chosen to not do that. I've chosen to go by Effy or Taylor or William. Do I have something on my face? Do I have something on my face?
Hit right there. There you go. You got it.
I had something on my face. And look at that. Friendship. Looking out for me. We're having a great time. This is what we're going to do this week. We're going to slow it down. We're going to take our time. Remember to talk about everything I want to talk about. And we're also going to remember to thank those people out there who are supportive of our podcast on patreon.com. Sign up at weekendateffys.com or patreon.com/weekendateffys. But I pay for the URL. So I think it's worth it to type in the cool URL version so it's easier to find, weekendateffys.com. I can't figure out this Facebook thing to send the reels to Facebook. I think it would be a good thing, but it's not working at the moment. And that has nothing to do with Patreon, but I just think about, listen, there's people out there who have never heard our podcast, who if they did, they would be like, whoa, this is what I like. This is something I enjoy. So the reels are very helpful in getting people here. But in my slow down process, we're also going to do this thing called, I'm going to try to say less bad words. Not because I don't think you should have free speech during this hateful time of free speech attack in our country. I don't want to get deplatformed and then people can't see what I'm saying. And I got to say, we tried a little experiment on the Patreon minisode, which comes along with the main episode every week, and it was not good. I tried to censor myself from saying a particular word in the movie The Long W-A-L-K. I now have gotten okay at not saying W-A-L-K-ing. Or talking about how I W-A-L-K'd out of the movie. But we are going to try to put those things to the test, and it may be difficult, but I'll tell you this, if one more person can see our videos and can understand what I'm saying by me not cursing like a sailor, C-U-R-S-I-N-G-ing like a sailor, then good, we're going to try. And it's really fun to say, gee golly willikers. Gee golly willikers. And we're going to talk about the fun of trying to do PG commentary at the end of the show. We'll talk about that later. We had a big week. Let's find out, if you will, my wonderful co-host and friend, Petár, has anyone on our Patreon asked us any questions this week with urgency that must be answered?
Yes.
Whoa!
Yes, they have.
Shout out the Patreon. Keep asking anything. I want to answer anything
Real quick,
here.
Give your...
What is it, fuzz?
Okay, there we go. Yeah, no, we got it.
Is it fuzz?
We got it.
Oh my gosh. I'm not built for this. Hollywood lifestyle. Cameras are always on me. Paparazzi, look away. Right?
Oh gosh. Okay, I just read this first question. All right,
Okay.
let's roll into it. This is from Anthony. First of all, I hope your knee is doing better, Effy, and I hope it heals quickly.
Thank you.
Recently, my mom has been going down a conspiracy theory rabbit hole. So I want to know, what is your favorite ridiculous conspiracy theory?
Okay, this is like, there's just like too many. Like, I love a good conspiracy theory. I think we've gotten to a point where, like, even if I brought up a conspiracy theory, I'm not like trying to forcefully validate it.
Right. The
And
problem
that's why
is
it's hard
that
now because there are people who are doing that.
You used to be able to entertain these ideas with zero consequences.
Just with like,
It was
a
just
little-
like fun to, talk about like lizard people and stuff like that. But when I run into people now that start telling me about lizard people that run the government, I start backing away from them very slowly.
I think most alien life can be contributed to time travel tourism.
Okay. So just like left behinds, is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying that this is a time travel tourism industry that cloaks itself in secret because we could not handle the technology now. But there are many people who want to come back and pay extraordinary prices in our near future to see historic events happening, which is why there are commonly these sightings of orbs or strange lights or things around large scale events.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I think like being able to historically go to these timelines at exact moments, it's not that like they know what's going on. It's like they already knew what was happening because it's the future and it's us coming back and looking at ourselves. Because I just don't, the timelines of traveling light years just to like look at us doesn't seem right. But we're so self-indulgent that I do believe we would want to go back in history and look at things that have already happened if we had the ability.
Interesting. Okay. Wow. I like that one actually.
Yeah, that one's like a little less like.
That's very innocuous, which is what I like about it.
And it's,
I like the ones that have no consequences for reality. The ones where you go, well, gee, if that's the case, there's kind of nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, those aren't as fun, but it does feel a little safer than like us dealing with new species.
Right.
Now they did confirm the ancient life on Mars, but it's, kind of microbial stuff. But still, I think that the Martians were an underground type culture anyway. So I think until we can mine and drill Mars for resources, we won't know what kind of ancient civilizations lived underneath there. Because think about Uncharted 2 and Uncharted 3 and Uncharted 4, where they go in all those ancient underground temples and they're much bigger than you think. Could be like that. Are those temples real or based in fact, or was that just for a video game?
No, there's temples.
Yeah, see? So think about that.
So you're saying dig Mars now?
Dig up Mars for minerals, get Elon out there, get him on the planet to check it out, and bring back the proof of the ancient civilizations, and we'll make you our
And
king.
leave him there.
We'll make you our king if you can get there and back and prove it. Okay? Promise. And we'll all say you're cool, and we'll all promise, hand over our heart, that you're cool. You can do it, Elon. You see, because I don't think you can. It's funny. Do you want to pick a conspiracy theory?
I'd have to think about it. Let me. I'll go back to you by the end of the
You
questions.
brain on it. We got more questions that we can get to, and we'll come back to Peter's answer soon.
Okay, this next one is from Danny. Is Emil J just on fire lately? Dude is doing amazing work.
Okay, so the funniest thing about the lovely MLJ is he is totally on fire lately, but I find myself at night, if I'm watching Tubi or what's the other one that's free? There's two of them that are free. Pluto. There are wrestling channels on there that will feature footage of MLJ from CZW from like 2010 to 2014. And it's incredible to see my boy still at it and still everywhere and still making the calls, making the magic. And it is very awesome to be on tour with MLJ. And we now got to call Cannonball Fest together, which once again, we will talk about in detail when we get to it. And to carve your own path in this kind of the ring announcer world, they're a little particular about what they want sometimes, but then when people kind of get authentically attached to something that is a little more of them, I think that you can radicalize the style of how things are done. And the energy is always reciprocated for MLJ. And it definitely creates its own attitude and live experience that like GCW is bringing that other places are not. Take off your suit and announce me in your sick ass Bam Bam Bigelow tall tee. How about that?
Okay. This next one's from Cherry Legend. Was sad to miss you in Indianapolis, but it also rained on us through half the show, so perhaps you didn't miss that much. My friend had some big treats for you, but I suggested to give them to Ratty Daddy instead to help him heal up. That being said, what are both of your favorite bakery-type treats?
Ooh. Okay, like the Southern boy in me immediately says a lemon bar is the best treat that there is. Like
I love a good coffee cake.
you love a good coffee cake,
I love a
but
good
not a
coffee cake.
biscotti.
It's too hard.
Too hard, but it softens in the espresso.
It does.
That's
But I
that
just
me.
can't be dipping shit all the time, you know?
What about dipping dots? You actually don't dip them in anything. I like a bear claw. I like an apple fritter. Is a cupcake a baked good? Like a filled cupcake?
Yeah.
Love a tart. Love an egg custard tart. Kind of a freak for any kind of custard. I'm gonna be honest.
I love a good donut.
Oh hell yeah! Do you have a particular? I've been eating those pumpkin donuts.
I got real into cronuts when that was a thing. I think
Cronuts
those
were
are
great,
delightful.
but the Dunkin' Donuts cronuts were not great. And I'm
No,
sorry.
I'm talking about the like $8 cronut where it just feels like
Fluffy.
a slap in the face, and then you don't regret
Yeah.
any of it as you're eating it.
I gotta admit to something here. I got 2 donuts, and they were up on this counter, and I ate one of them, and then I went outside to let the chickens out, and I came back, and there were no more donuts. I at least got one of them. Maybe, they were trying to look out for me, but we got to get a higher shelf for food, I think.
But where did you put them?
Right here. Was that a bad idea?
You know how tall the dog is.
I need...
The one dog in particular.
Yeah, the one
That
dog in
is
particular.
the food curious, will eat anything.
Yeah, I know, but I was just setting things and going, and I didn't. The bag was closed, so I didn't even think she knew what it was.
This is she's sending signals to your brain.
You're
to be
negotiating with terrorists.
like, innocent.
You're negotiating with
I'm
terrorists.
Innocent.
I
I'm not
was-
negotiating with terrorists.
I was caught off guard by an inappropriate act, and I lost my donut because of it. And you're right. Listen. It happens.
What was it? George Bush said, "Fool me once."
Shame on me. Fool me again. Can't get fooled again. That's what he said. So, needless to say, donuts are great when you actually get to eat them. Tisket a tasket. The dog ate my basket.
I don't know. I'm on her side with this one. You left it out. It's fair game.
I can't have to. That's like saying, oh, you shouldn't be out there in public because you could get attacked.
Oh
or
no!
something.
I went in the ocean and a shark bit me.
Yeah,
You're in the ocean.
I can't negotiate with sharks.
This is true because the shark will just eat you, and Lucy will just eat your donut.
She's yelling at me right now. Okay, it's fair, but listen, it's like I can't. I'm trying my best here, Peter. I'm trying to be everything all at once, all the time. And sometimes the dog gets one on me. That's a conspiracy theory. They're trying to get me. They're trying to get me. They're trying to take me out.
But if you're all things to everyone, you're no things to no one.
Exactly. And that's why it's okay that the dog got the donut. It doesn't reflect negatively on me. I've done my best. All right. I can't be prepared all the time. Sometimes life catches you off guard. You go, whoops. And then you try to correct your behavior, but it might happen again. I don't know. I only got so many places I can put stuff. I can't just live my life going like, well, I can't put anything anywhere because what if there's a shark? I can't do that. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah. Okay. What are the 3 shortest words in the English language? What are the 3 shortest words in the English language? Is it in?
What?
Because it's a small dick joke.
Oh,
Is
it
it
in?
Is it in?
Oh, I thought it was going to be AI, and then there was another one. X.
I think it should be sentence, not words.
I don't care. Good try.
Good try. Thank you, Heather.
Good try.
Okay, this is the last one that we're gonna do, because it will lead us into the rest of the podcast. For Machete Von Kill, we need a knee update. And I personally need to know if Effy preferred the venison or the elk jerky.
Okay, great question. I prefer the elk jerky, which I ate in the emergency room in Indianapolis. I did not have the most successful weekend of my life. I obviously have been dealing with a knee injury that I've not taken any time off of for, and I aggravated that knee injury this weekend. And the elk was so juicy and good as a jerky, and the venison was great as well. But that elk, I don't know. There's a softness to that meat that's really on what do you call it? Like unrecreatable, unimitatable. It's the only kind of meat I've ever felt like that. Bring it back. Bring back elk. Can we domesticate elk, or is that not something people are looking to do?
I don't think so. Hang on one second. Hi. Hello.
I'm in the
Hello. All right. We're just going to roll with
Perfect. Yeah, elk jerky gets top notch, and that's all I have to say about elk jerky. I was in the emergency room. Did I say that? We haven't gotten to that part of the story yet, and I'm trying to decide how quickly I want to get into the story. You know? How quickly should I? Oh, it looks like...
Okay, we're fully back now.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Are you just going to
so weird.
stitch it and rich it?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, wait, that's our last question?
That is our last
And
question.
it's leading us in. So this was, like I said, it was a weekend of surprises, so to say. Now, I am going to take a week off. I don't know if it's been completely announced yet, but I'm not going to be in LA and Phoenix, and I'm still going to be doing a little like commentary meet and greet deal up at the Atlanta show I had on Sunday, Blood and Honey, but not particularly wrestling for the next couple weeks. We're going to see how it goes. But here's what happened. So Denver show, which like I love Denver. Denver to me, not Denver. Detroit. What am I saying? There's so many places, Peter. It's starting to get like a little bit like I kind of had 4 or 5 moments this weekend where I was like, I don't really know where I am. And then trying to figure out like where I've been. It's like it all just sort of like blends at a certain point.
I would be concerned about your brain with a statement like that, but I know how much you travel. It's surprising that that isn't happening to you more.
Yeah, it's been very just like I go with the flow on it, but if I sit and like try to actually figure out like, oh my gosh, how did I end up here? It's like very confusing.
I'll get asked about you at work. They'll go, oh, where is he this week? And I'll go, I don't know. And
I know, somewhere.
They'll go, how do you not know? And I go, how am
He
I
barely
expected
knows.
to know?
Thank
That's
God
crazy.
they add the flight tickets to my Apple Wallet, or I wouldn't know where I was going. I have to keep control of these things, and like at a certain point, it's just like it's numbers and letters and cars and places, and there's cool stuff everywhere. But okay, so I said Denver and I was wrong, and that's so silly of me because I was in Detroit, Michigan, and I want to say this about Detroit. Detroit is what Texas thinks it is.
Okay.
It's a freedom pillar, okay? Like they're about freedom in Michigan. You know, in Michigan they actually purchase the grow cannabis from like local farmers. Like in a lot of other places they have to either have their own grow houses or like specific grow houses, but all the cannabis there, they'll just buy it from people who are growing it. So it's just like an insane place where everyone's kind of stoned, everyone's kind of redneck. Things are looking up a little better than they were. I think Detroit of a few years ago was, kind of a mess. We talked a little bit about the gay guys that put the neighborhoods up, and they got canceled. So who's gonna fix Detroit now?
They got that monster out of that basement.
Mommy or whatever her name was with Justin Long.
That documentary Barbarian.
The documentary by Zach Krieger, Barbarian. Detroit is a rock city. We were back in Harpo's for the first time in a year. There was lots of cool people there that I got to see. I have a lot of history in Detroit. I have more now with my raging feuds with the ICP, and I haven't been to Harpo's for like, I guess it was a year. We haven't been to Harpo's in a year. So it was kind of fun to be back there. I went upstairs to change and charge my phone when I got there, and the signature that I left a few years back was faded, but was there in gold marker. So it's kind of fun to go back to these venues and see your signed wall again. I got to see a lot of old fun friends, but here's what happened. Someone was out with injury, Arez, and he fractured his foot. And so I don't know what I was originally scheduled to do, but I ended up being a part of a tag team with Gringo Loco, which was sick because we've wrestled before. We've been in matches before. We've never teamed. We've never been on the same team.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
That's kind of crazy.
yeah, it was kind of crazy. And the match was stacked. It was Marcus Mathers and Joey Janela, which, side note, I'm not going to say it here, but I know Marcus Mathers' legal name, and it's not like a weird name or anything, but it's awesome.
It's
I just want to say that
Gregory
here.
Peck.
Can you I don't want to like dox him, but I want you to hear his name. Can we do this?
Yeah, I'll just cut out this next section.
Okay, good. Isn't that incredible?
It's
One
like
word.
It's a book character. It's like a classical literature character.
I think it's awesome. And so they're on the team, and then Derice, and of course the youngest ever X Division champion from TNA, Leon Slater, as well as the Bang Bros. Well, formerly known as the Bang Bros. They were cease and desisted by the Bang Bros, which I think is just like kind of an incredible accomplishment. I think they're called Bang and Matthews now, but boy, the Bang Bros is the funniest name of all time still. And if you are in the pornography industry and you sent them that cease and desist, you are such a loser. They were not causing you any harm or problem. They didn't say that. I said it. So it ends up being this crazy 4-way tag that is going nutso. And at a certain point in the match, as you can expect with some of these high flyers here, I was not high flying. My knee was still wrapped, but all the swelling had kind of gone down. I was still just wearing a brace to make sure it was okay. I had it wrapped up for the match, and I was operating all right. And then we started catching dives, and I caught a dive, and then I caught another dive. And then on the third dive that I caught, which no shade to Leon Slater, okay? Because he is a true professional. And I caused my own injury by being a true professional. This injury is not the knee injury. When Leon Slater dives out of the ring over the corner post, so he's really diving. Like this boy is 6'3" and diving over the corner post. I catch him. There's other people there catching him, but I get a brunt of it, which I prefer. The
6'3". Imagine a professional basketball player
just jumping on you from 8 or 9 feet in the air, just like, and flipping on himself. So it catches my middle finger and it bends completely out of place, completely just like that way, like the other way. Now you can see here, my middle finger's fine.
Yeah.
If you're watching the video on youtube.com/weekendateffys, middle finger's fine. It is swollen, but everything is good. But this thing, it's very jarring to look down at your hand, and the pain isn't the problem because you're kind of running on adrenaline. But you look down and you go, this is incorrect. Like my finger's incorrect. And I start getting a little mad because not that I'm in pain or that my finger's messed up or that it's going to waste my time. Damn it. Am I going to have to go get this reset somewhere? Am I going to have to get this splinted?
So, okay, show me on your, like, what did it look like when this happened?
So this part of it was over here and back a little bit.
Okay, so he was pointing at the tip of his finger.
The very tip of my finger
was
on the
back.
middle finger was back and to the side.
So like a 45 into the side?
Like a stilted.
Oh.
Yeah, it was wrong. And I knew there was still another dive to come. We were pretty close to the end of the match. There's another dive to come. I said, I'm not letting anybody hit the ground, even my own teammate. Big moonsault off the giant barricade. Gringo Loco hits it. We go back in to do the finish. And I'm going, Perch goes, you good? And I said, I think I broke my finger, but it turns out I was just dislocated. And I still go to the top rope, kind of fired up and like a little like the frustrated adrenaline. And so I was like just going for it. And the final move we did to win this match against an all-star cast is both Bang Bros are on the shoulders of Gringo Loco. I am on the top rope and I jump into the air and land on both Bang Bros with a Rough Rider, sack rider, ride my sack. and land legs, ass on the ground.
By sack, you mean the fluid in your knee that's been filling up?
Okay, yeah, we've got a little sack of fluid now. And here's the problem. After the match, I was able to go up and down the stairs. I was able to walk around fine. I didn't notice anything wrong with it. I did merch. I was fine. I was hanging out. And then we got in the car and we were driving part of the way to Indianapolis for the next day. And I was just sitting in the car for an hour and a half, 2 hours. When we got to the hotel and I sat down, I could not move my leg, and it had swollen to the size of, as Manders described it, a football. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, wait a second, what about the finger? Right? Well, when I get out of the match, I come upstairs, and Manders goes, you good? And I go, my finger's fucked up. Oh, I did it. I cussed.
That's fine. That's
All
fine.
right. My finger's messed up. And he goes and grabs my hand, and I was like, don't you do it. Don't you do it. And I'm freaking out. And then he's just being real gentle. And he's holding my hand. He goes, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm just looking at it. And then he makes Marcus Mathers talk to me. And he goes, keep talking to him so he's not thinking. And so Marcus Mathers starts asking me questions. And then all of a sudden, pop. And it's right back into place. And it's straight. We stopped at the gas station on the way. My leg was starting to swell at this point. And as requested by Manders, he goes, you have to put a splint on it. So I buy one of those Spider-Man popsicles that you get
I knew that was going to
from
be
the ice cream truck
out of your mouth.
And I didn't want to eat all the ice cream. I was like, fuck, I got to do this quick. And I start chewing up the ice cream, but I don't want to eat it all. So I'm just standing over a trash can at a Pilot, biting off chunks of the ice cream and spitting it into the trash can so I can just get to the stick, which I then like suck all the cream off the stick, break it in half, tape it around with his wrist tape, and build my own splint for my finger. And look at this. We're on Tuesday now. We're great. This happened Friday, Tuesday. It's swollen. It's sore. We're fine. The leg became the real problem after this. When I get to the hotel room and I'm like, I literally can't move it. Granted, got me ice, got it lifted in the bed, got everything handled. I could barely sleep, and it was possibly just some of the worst jarring pain I've ever had. And I'm sort of having this, I'm in my mind going like, and I'm trying to be a realist, right? I'm trying not to emotionally react to this. I'm trying to be real and go, okay, look, you might not be wrestling for a long time. This is way worse than when it happened the first time. This feels way worse. This feels horrible. This is very bad. It's swollen beyond belief. It's crazy. And I cannot move. You know, I'm having these thoughts here. And then I wake up the next morning and I cannot move at all. They had to go get a luggage cart to drag me out. There's a video of me being pushed out of the lobby by a few wrestlers, including Manders, taken by Gringo Loco, while Daddy's Home by Usher plays in the background while I'm being rolled out in a luggage cart. And what an extraordinary video to have production of. What a beautiful thing. So then Brett didn't realize that it was like, I can't walk bad. And I was like, look, like I'm going to have to go to the ER. They had to like lift me in the car. I had to like have my leg across. Like I was like, it's over. Like it's done. We're done. And they dropped me off at the ER. I tell them what's going on. They take me to the back, and I missed the whole show. And I'm sorry to everyone. But the funniest thing to me was I was like, yo, I'm going to the ER to see what's up with this. And he goes, how bad is it? It's going to turn into a tag match. And I was like, Brett, I can't get in the ring right now. We're having trouble. It is what it is. I'm going to go get it checked out. So first they do an x-ray. And during the x-ray, they're making me like move it around a lot. And I was like, okay, this is weird. But I was able to move it. So I was like, okay, maybe this is good. And then they bring me back and we look at the x-ray. There's no break at any point in my knee or leg, right? But you're going, well, that's not the main one we need to do. There's no break. And they did notice, though, that there has been a fracture that has healed itself in my shin over the course of time. They said this is old. So there was potentially some kind of weird fracture in my leg, but it has now built itself into being completely healed in the wrong way, and it's not seemingly causing me any problems. So I think we're okay with that. They do the MRI with the contrast. They said they don't see anything very wrong. They just said it's a super contusion, and I have to just let it drain itself. They weren't going to drain it. They said there would be infection if they did that. Knock on wood, I may have done it myself. But This it does seem to be a thing that's sort of forcing me to sit. And I hate that my body does that and kind of waits for the scenario where, like, there's not permanence in this, but it does seem annoying to just have to sit around. And I get antsy when I'm not just doing stuff, or I don't have access to doing things, or it slows me down. Like, they gave me crutches. This is so embarrassing, and it makes me sound like a bad person. They gave me crutches, which I'm sure they charged me a ton for. And I used them the first day to get around, and actually used them. And we actually had a nice little, I didn't get out of the emergency room until like 10 that night. And we went to Buffalo Wild Wings, a bunch of us, and had a real meal because the show was earlier that day because it was outdoors. And I actually had a very lovely time. Now, that may have been some of the OxyContin talking. Thank God they did not prescribe me any more pain meds like that, because it's like too much fun. I'd be all about it. There's no way. She was like, do you need any more of this? I was like, no way. There's no way. I'd never come back from that. One prescription of that, I'm going to be fiending. I know myself. So I said no. But while that was still hanging in there, I had some wings, had some nachos, had a great time at the Buffalo Wild Wings, where when you're here, you're eating wings. I don't know their slogan, but everybody calls it B-dubs.
Eating wings and on opiates.
Yeah, having a great time, learning about football or other sports. Baseball maybe was playing. I can't remember. It was nice. It was lovely. They gave me the crutches. I walked around on the crutches for a while, and I was getting kind of good at it, right? I was kind of wheeling and dealing on it. But then I realized, like, okay, it's not that I can't walk on this, like I said, I'm told I'm not supposed to, but also, like, I felt so much like just, I don't know. I felt like such a look at me in my, I'd rather limp around the airport than like have to carry these crutches around everywhere. They're just like giant and metal and everywhere. Mm-hmm. And so when I landed, I just put them in the rental car that I got, because I left Indianapolis very, very, very early. All of my flights this weekend were like, except for the one into Detroit, it was like I had to do a late one into Detroit because the rest of these were so early in the morning, which is fine. I can do it. But I landed and I put those in the rental car, and I kind of just didn't go back to them. I went to, I didn't go to the gym, but I went in there to sit in the sauna. And I want to say the sauna in the one of these New Jersey LA Fitnesses, that's the hottest sauna I've ever been in. It was insane. You go in there like 6 minutes and you're like, oh, I'm going to die. And you have to take breaks. I was not in there exercising by any means because I just like need to chill it. But I did want to try to get some heat because I've been icing a lot. You got to do both. And that was great. Didn't use the crutches. Went to the movies. We talk about it on the minisode, available at weekendateffys.com on the Patreon. We talk about going to see the Long WALK. And didn't bring my crutches. Couldn't really WALK that well. Did have a delicious burger. People don't talk about how good the burgers at AMC are. But the reason I was in town in New Jersey was for Cannonball Fest. By the time I got to Cannonball Fest, even though I kind of parked far away from the entrance, I left those crutches in the car. And I'm just going to spoil the story. The next morning when I turned the rental car back in to go fly home, I said, can y'all just deal with these for me? She was like, you're not going to take them? And I was like, I'm not carrying these around anymore. It just feels annoying and showboaty, and they're in the way, and I have to carry them around all the time, and I don't want to use them, and I can't carry my luggage with the freaking crutches.
That is the only reasonable part of this entire thing. What do you mean showboaty?
You just got to like walk around like a crab person.
Injury.
Yeah, but like, come on. And then they were like, do you want the wheelchair? And I was like, what do you think I am? Like, I'm not doing this. But then it was taking me too long to crutch through the airport. So I was like, I'm just going to walk and hope it's fine. I got rid of them. I should have brought them back and sold them on Whatnot. But then I was like, who wants a crutch? I don't even want the crutch. It's my crutch. I don't need a crutch. This sounds like a cry for help, doesn't it? So I made it home. I took an Uber when I landed. We're going to talk about Cannonball Fest first. And the Uber I had while I was complaining about my knee, he was like, oh, yeah, like my friends like indie wrestling, but I only like WWE. And his complaints are that the matches are all too long and that everything is kind of like, he said ever since Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker at WrestleMania, it's they took the wrong lessons from why that match was good, and now everything is just nostalgia star dream matches that go on for too long with too many kickouts because they think that's what makes it better. And I was like, this casual normie WWE fan picked me up and has the same opinions as me, who's been in the business over a decade now, which is, y'all shit is too long, I do not care, and also these nostalgia fueled dream matches cannot last forever. Apparently, I think the deal is somewhere over 200 million for them to do WrestleMania in 2027 in Saudi Arabia. You know this? You heard this? Now, who's to say they won't do some kind of two-part event where part of the WrestleMania is here and part of the WrestleMania is there? But I just got to say, I've been getting a lot of questions. Like, it will entertain the question from the fans, but like also journalists have been reaching out and they're like, what do you think about WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia? And what do you think about Effy's Big Gay Brunch? Because usually they have an Effy's Big Gay Brunch at WrestleMania. And I just want to say, y'all, do I even like, I thought we understood that this is, the problem is this, right? I didn't even want to keep the brunches going. Like I said, I didn't, because I'm tired, because I do enough, because I thought we kind of made our point, and then our country started slipping back into like deep fascism, and it's very hard to watch. And so we continued them, and the way I'm going to have to phrase this is complicated, because here's the facts. I could say, oh, we would never run a big gay brunch in Saudi Arabia because they are anti-gay, they are anti-LGBTQ. It is unsafe for the performers. It is unsafe for the talent. It is unsafe for, attendees in some ways if they're of that nature. And this country does not celebrate or do that. But when you say that, you're also not paying attention to the fact that, like, when we ran Big Gay Brunch in Tampa, Florida, it's illegal there to like be trans in public. And so to say like, yeah, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is also very stringent and hard line about these things. And they're trying to use this WWE connection amongst a lot of other connections to sort of, I mean, the phrase they're using is sports washing. They're trying to make it look like a more progressive place. These companies are being a part of it, but they are still, doing the actions that are not good. It is punishable up to by death to be a homosexual there, and they can choose or not choose to do those punishments, and they're probably not looking to have more issues in the public. But what this does is sort of like, it normalizes that the barrier to capitalism doesn't have to include like, hey, if you were going to have views like that, that would usually be a barrier to capitalism. Like if you were hateful towards a group of people as a product, that would probably stop people from spending money on those things typically. And you're saying, well, that's not what the case is here, but it's like, by sort of just like letting it happen, they're sort of accepting it. And then I don't see things progressing towards the left very much right now. And so it feels like it's just giving another example and an opportunity for this to be the norm in the future of like, it's very much like all the brands taking the LGBTQ stuff or the DEI stuff off their pages. It's like, as soon as they figured out it wasn't going to affect them in a capitalist way, it wasn't going to financially affect them to not include people like this or make people feel safe or make people feel like their product is not, going to be in agreement with terrible kind of shit like this, then guess what? Why include it? It costs us money. So it's sort of like having this thing. It's not just that it's Saudi Arabia. It's sort of like, I'm very worried about the inference that companies or events or places are going to make from this being normalized. And so like, I don't even want to entertain the question, but the facts are, no, there will never be a big gay brunch there. The big gay brunches that we do have, yes, they have kind of existed in protest. And like I said, there's certain places where, yeah, they're not all 100% accepting of us. This isn't us going into towns that are, 100% gay. This is us providing a place for the people that are like us, the people that perform in the industry that are like us, the fans who want to see something reflected that's like them. And so, yeah, in the interest of progress, it sounds very interesting to say things like, well, wouldn't you want to bring that change somewhere? But the change is going in the wrong direction where it stands. And I don't think, being a martyr in this day and age is cool at all. It's like actually super lame to be a martyr right now. But what we have to do is just like continue promoting what we're doing and almost separate ourselves from where the WWE is going. And I think that's okay. Like, it's awesome to have everybody in town to do a big gay brunch that way. But I'm very certain there are plenty of markets in the United States, plenty of markets in Canada, plenty of markets in other countries even that we would do great in. And it wouldn't have to include the necessity of a big gay brunch being alongside a WrestleMania for it to be successful. And we've heard that for years from people that are saying a lot of us are just coming to the indie shows at Mania anyway. And maybe, if we can find a cheap ticket that day. But for a lot of people, this becomes, sort of the mainstay. So I think whatever our decision is and whatever the decision of the brunch is on where we will perform, we're definitely going to still be having a brunch, but we're not going to be, chasing what the WWE is doing anymore. And especially recently, Vince McMahon's not a good person. Like, you could just go on record. There's plenty of examples, whether it be from the way he treats talent to the way he does business to the way. But one thing he always did that was smart, and it's a capitalist decision, is to make the pricing somewhat affordable so that families can attend, because he knows that's what he wants to see. And so, not to go even more political here, but to see the growing change between sort of where our top earners and top money people are and where the bottom is, when you have the CEO and ticket people of TKO saying Vince McMahon shouldn't have done that, we feel like we're not maximizing the profit earnings from our live events, you're sort of boxing out the regular consumer anyway. And the regular consumer has always been the lifeblood of pro wrestling. This is blue collar art, as they say. This is not something that, has culturally had a place amongst the elites, and they're trying to position themselves as a product that is, while kind of not caring, not that they're boxing out, but not really caring if you're able to afford it or compete with it. And so between this Uber guy talking and the whole Saudi Arabia thing, it just seems like there's a growing distance between what I believe pro wrestling is, what I think pro wrestling can provide to people, what I believe pro wrestling stands for as far as community, as far as a place where we lift those up when we're down, and we try to put on the best show possible, and we want our fans to get their money's worth. We want them to feel like they are, accepted into our world. It does seem like there's a growing disparity between what the biggest company in pro wrestling is doing and what I want to do out here in the world. And so it's fine that they exist, but I need more people to understand that, like, what pro wrestling can be and what it can do. I'm not saying that the Saudis shouldn't get any pro wrestling ever. That's absurd. I do want them to eventually progress.
You don't have to
places.
be a gay missionary to Saudi Arabia.
Right. And I also don't have to continue parading around like we have to exist with them in a cohesion, like we're some sort of parasite. We have our own fans. We have our own things. There will be many, many people in America hungry for talent. I would have said to you, Las Vegas Mania repeat is 100% a sign of a recession. But the real sign of a recession is WWE taking the Saudi Arabia money and going overseas and completely saying it's financially okay for us to abandon our U.S. audience to do this because they're not as valuable to us as it is for this kingdom to sort of play and pay to paper this kind of arena just to do a private show for us. And if that sounds like trash to you, good, same to me. And I want to continue to provide fun outings that are affordable for people to come to, that are not inaccessible for people to get to, that are not outpriced for people to be a part of. Like, it is so important now that like we take this as a sign of like, okay, they definitely don't need us being the United States consumer at this point. They clearly are saying they don't need us. And so we want to provide what the consumer can come and find when they realize that this is not entertainment that they really fully bought into in the way that the WWE is expecting them to. Now, with that being said, I bring all this up to say Sunday was Cannonball Fest. Now, Jeff Cannonball, I've known for many years. Many people may know Jeff Cannonball better than I do, but I have always enjoyed my time with Jeff Cannonball. We've always had great conversations. Him and his wife, Tara Calloway, fantastic people. And Jeff has ALS. He was diagnosed with ALS, and it is a terrible disease if you don't know. As you know, Joey Janela put it, screw Lou Gehrig, who did he ever beat? And so Cannonball Fest was an independent wrestling show put together to raise money for Jeff Cannonball, his family, his young son, who I think is like 2 now, Milo. And the card that was put together Does she need to go potty again? Is that what you're telling me? We're having a day of curses. Okay, back to Cannonball Fest and back to ALS. Screw ALS. I already cussed on here though. Fuck ALS. Is that bad?
No. It's not that we need to stick to no cursing. We just need to reduce the amount of cursing, which in turn makes the Patreon episode spicier. But don't worry about like stopping or censoring yourself if you do say it. But don't go out of your way to curse more because we want less iterances, not more.
Fuck.
But also, again, for example, right there, don't be afraid to genuinely curse if it comes out.
Okay, Cannonball Fest rules. ALS drools. That's what I got to say about that, okay? This card was a mega magic indie card, and not even everyone on the card, or not even everyone there was on the card, and I got to see a lot of good friends. I got to see a lot of fun people, and I did what I could do to help, because I was originally supposed to be like a run-in and do a thing, but I was like, there's no running happening. So I called commentary.
Instead, it's going to be a very long WALK.
A very long WALK. Listen, I could do a walk-in. I could make it. Oh, man. This is the censorship problem. This is the problem with censor. They're censoring me. The media, the mass media is censoring me. I did all 3 hours of commentary for this show. I had some of the best calls of my career, and I also was using this kind of as a proof of concept that like you can hire me to do other things too. I don't always have to follow my head. I got a lot of compliments about the commentary. I want to read a few Cannonball Fest commentary. Now, I do want to say they raised with just this show in the auction over $40,000. Over $150,000 has been raised for Jeff Cannonball, which sounds like a lot of money. But then you got to think
American healthcare system.
This man's got to live with ALS. This man's dealing with American healthcare system. We got to keep donating. I bought the bloody minifig from Pro Wrestling Tees that they put out of Jeff Cannonball at jeffcannonballfig.com. So if you want to buy the only Jeff Cannonball figure that you can get, rarity, you should go do it. They have them. I did commentary and I took a few bookmarks of notes about me doing commentary. And so I want to just like look at those now. This is actually from Heather. I must say that I'm impressed with how respectful Effy is with thirst commentary as an extra layer of love. I'm respectfully thirsty. Okay. So good to hear MLJ and Effy on commentary. All the love to Effy. Thank you. Effy and Emil are literally on fire with this commentary. I need it more often. Effy on commentary is lovely. Just a lot of awesome. Obsessed with Effy Lives talking about carcinization on commentary. That's my kind of sexy talk. Effy on commentary is great. Effy's commentary truly is the gift that keeps on giving. I had some great calls. They keep coming. People are really pumped about the commentary. I am a freeform jazz artist, and I have more commentary experience than people know because on the Twitch show, when I'm doing wrestling, I do my own commentary for like 3 hours, on a lot of wrestling. Mm-hmm. So I really I've spent time calling wrestling myself. I spent time calling wrestling with people. I had so much fun making all the calls here. The baby is Nyla Rose was one thing I screamed out. The Alf that Gravity forgot when Alf did a 630. Alf, the alien life form from Alf. And then, of course, the Battle Royal being won by Jeffrey the Giraffe from Toys R Us. We talk about that on the minisode a little bit. I got to do just fun commentary the whole time. And then I got to do commentary on Speedball and Tremont, which was the main event. And that was crazy. You guys should go watch the show. I think it's free on YouTube, on the GCW YouTube channel. You can watch the whole thing, Cannonball Fest. It was a tear fest. I was laughing. I was crying. I was having the time of my life. I was giving all my love. And it made me realize how important and supportive and wonderful the indie wrestling community is. Because when somebody's down, we don't just go, oh, that sucks. No, Tony Deppen and Joey Janela and all these guys put together a show with the intention of like if you look at the card that day with Santana and Bear Bronson and Nyla Rose and like all these people that were there, Joey Janela, Megan Bain, like it looks like one of the most expensive indie shows, and then you realize everybody there is doing it pro bono, to help Jeff Cannonball, and you're like, yo, it's important that I can get paid to do my job as a wrestler, but to also have the ability to use any make-believe skills I have to help raise money for someone else. That's really cool. That's really awesome. And the show itself was just like incredible and kept going and was so hot. It was so hot in there, and nobody brought me a Diet Coke, and I'm not complaining. It's fine. But I did do commentary with no drink for 3 hours. There was one match that me and Masha Slamovich called, and it was the most I've had to mute myself on commentary ever. And I hope y'all can go find it and figure it out, because I was dying laughing and so confused at what was going on and so confused at what was being presented to me. And that is, I think, to have that like alongside all these matches that I would be very proud to like show my commentary on is even better, because I'm just losing it. And I keep having to mic myself out because you can hear me cracking up. And I had a great time. I love Cannonball Fest. You know what I did after? I ate McDonald's and I went to bed immediately. And then I woke up at 3:30 a.m. to come home with my bunk ass leg. I had to go real early to the airport because I was like, I'm limping. I'm limping through this one. It was a weekend of difficulty, and it was a weekend of self-discovery, and it was a weekend of friendship. I got to see so many fun people, and it's beautiful to see how indie wrestling adapts and changes to what it needs to be. And I think we're going to be fine in the future. I think we're all dealing with troubles right now. I think we've all got, things going on. I think it doesn't look great out there if you're checking on the news. And I think we just everybody's got to be a little calmer. Everybody's got to slow down a little bit. We got to take a breath. We got to look around and try our best. But we can't be mad if we don't achieve our best. We have to just be a little accepting of look, it's a struggle for everyone right now. Let's do our best. And if you need to take a weekend off, it's not the biggest problem in the world. Maybe you should. I'm talking to myself right now. Maybe it's okay. Maybe you'll be fine if you just take a weekend off. And that's what I'm going to do. So we'll see how this week goes. I am scheduled to return to action, eventually. We have the Big Gay Brunch in the UK coming up. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do with that. I will still be there. I will be in Liverpool. I will be in the building. I will be participating in some form or fashion. And then after that, I just had a match announced for Alaska. So October 4th, we'll see where we're looking by October 4th. So I can beat up Chris Wilde, who seems like a fun talent to get in the ring with in beautiful Alaska. It's going to be great. What do you think, Peter?
I love it. You need to take a break.
Yeah, a little bit. We'll take a break then. Not from this. This part's easy.
Yeah.
Talking.